guys, so this is my custom Spawn figure. Now, basically I'm just gonna go in 3 categories to explain how I made this custom and why I made it. So category 1, why I made it. So I wanted a Spawn custom for a little long of a while, and I was kind of, debating on what custom I should make, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight custom, but I kind of crossed out Moon Knight because I'm definitely gonna pick up the Disney Plus Moon Knight. No, question. But also on the other hand, since I was about to make this a Ghost Rider, like a tech version of Ghost Rider, but after the Ghost Rider re-release came out with the new Johnny Blaze head sculpt, I never got one of those Ghost Rider figures on those molds, so I needed to get one. So I had to change my camera real quick. So I'm not going to be making a Ghost Rider custom or Moon Knight custom anytime soon. I was toying around trying to make maybe a custom Iron Man, maybe a custom, I don't know, some sort of Marvel Legend that hasn't been made yet that I want. But I decided to go for Spawn because he's one of my favorite street tier characters or superheroes / anti-heroes. He's on that list, that top 3 list with Spider-Man, Deadpool, and well, him. My top favorite street tier heroes: Spider-Man, Deadpool, Iron Fist, Hawkeye, Spawn, Ghost Rider, and Daredevil, and Moon Knight also. Me personally, I just have a soft spot for street tier superheroes. They're just better in every fathomable way because you can kind of relate with them more because they're basically they were normal people that were given extraordinary powers and they're saving their community or their neighborhood or like a town or city. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, so basically how I made this. So I switched out of the category of why I made this, and now we're gonna switch into how I made this custom, and also based off the design and what I'm going to do. And the last category is just going to be how I feel about it. So let's start with the design. So I based this off of the red gloved and torso area design Spawn has, with less pouchy stuff on his legs, without that ridiculous boot, that big impractical boot. I just don't like that about his design. And I did have a little bit of paint scribble right there from the cape, but yeah. So also the cape was a pretty cool last minute add-on, because I know this is kind of a different color, but it works enough. I might take a lighter paint and paint this felt a little bit lighter, and the paint actually made it a lot more harder. Like soft plastic, it's like really hard, but also still flexible. So the design is based off of that design of Spawn, but also it has its own flair to it, since the body it's built on is that, I think, Iron Cap from Capcom, or I can't remember, but I'll put a picture up right here of the body mode I used this. And this was my custom old Moon Knight figure. You see that video? It's like a 30-minute long custom video. It's probably one of my first custom videos that got a lot of views, and I just had to make another one, aka the Spider-Man custom, that came out a little bit of minutes ago, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, the Ultimate Spider-Man custom. I'm also next week, or probably Friday, I'm making a video on a custom Spider-Man No Way Home suit figure I'm making. And it's basically just a repaint of one of my old custom Spider-Mans, and I like how it turned out. Or like a repaint over top of a new repaint. So yeah. But other than that, basically, yeah. So this is literally my own flair on Spawn. So pretty much imagine Spawn without the symbiote type suit he has, like the symbiotic type suit he has in the comics. He basically has more of it's still a symbiotic suit, but it's more like the symbiotic, realistic suit Agent Venom has, with all the pouches and gun holsters and like armor and built-in plates that look like the suit isn't, alive. Makes it look like the suit is just a fabric covered armor or body armor or something like that. So it's basically like that, but on Spawn. So I smoothed out the head because I didn't want the head to be like a helmet. I wanted it to be more like a mask. So I smoothed out the head with some Corolla clay, actually. It kind of stick to the body pretty nicely, actually. Corolla clay, I can't remember, but I'll put a picture up right here with the clay I used for it. I also used basically, I think I used Apple's paint, or I just used normal, regular red and black and white paint. The white did come out a little bit chalky, but I think I like it. And surprisingly, the paint I used was a super like potent white, so I only had to put one coat of paint, one coat of white paint for the chest area, because I had to paint the whole torso outside of the arms and legs and pelvis area completely white, and then painted around the white to make those lines, because I didn't want to paint white over black and red. So that's what I did. It does look a little bit weird if you look at it too close. Like that one's a little bit more round than the point edged over here, but if you look at it from afar like that, angled it doesn't really look that bad if you don't focus on it too much. The white there is kind of thicker than this one, and like this one's skinnier, but that one's thicker there. This one skinnier there, but that one's thicker there. The paint was kind of, it wasn't as good as I wished it could be, but it's actually pretty good for my first attempt of a first time ever making a custom Spawn figure. So yeah, I did have a past design from scratch I was making, but it kind of failed because the wire kept on breaking as I was making the figure. Because wire, when you bend it, a lot, it breaks over time. And it was breaking as I was making it. I didn't even finish making it. So I threw that in the trash. I threw that design in my bucket of, past designs, or pretty much a bucket I have of my past pretty much mess ups of customs. And a lot of my customs I took it out of there since and re-customized by new tricks to make them actually work out. So yeah, but here's my next design. So I was going to get a Moon Knight Disney Plus Moon Knight Disney Plus Moon Knight from Marvel Legends to replace this custom Moon Knight, because this originally was a custom Moon Knight on my shelf, because I just don't like how it looks as Moon Knight. It's too bulky, and it fits Spawn good, because Spawn in the comics is really muscular, like Luke Cage levels of muscular. Plus the suit making it look a little bit more bulky. It matches with his aesthetic of him being like a big but also athletic type of Batman type, person, Batman type of character. And I did purposely slant his like curve neck or V-neck or whatever it's called, or his collar on his cape like that, so it has like a little bit of symmetric design. Like in the comics, it looks like it's always flowing around and stuff. So I might, fold in like the tips like that to make it curve out. And it's already like bending like that, but yeah, it's probably what I'm going to do. Oh, it's actually already bended. So yeah, so basically I do have to be doing like a little bit of touching up then and there on this figure, but overall it's like finished completely. So yeah, so I used the buck of that one figure I showed earlier of my custom Moon Knight figure, stripped off some of the paint of it, and then I just painted the arms all the way to the double joint arms, to the pouch, all red, then white. You can see kind of the red over there, like the pinkish type color bringing it in. So just put the red. I was gonna use a Sharpie that line it out. That would make it look cleaner, but I'll do that later. I just didn't want to do it now because I don't even have a Sharpie on me. I did buy a bunch of new fine tip Sharpies, but I put them in the same bucket as the fine tip Sharpies that are out of ink. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go sort through all those Sharpies, but yeah. But also I used Corolla clay for the leg pouch like that, and it was originally supposed to be like straps with spikes, but I actually painted the knee pads red with silver type clips to simulate that and make it look more realistic. So yeah, I forgot to add silver dots on this side. I might touch that up later, but I like this look a little bit better with it looking like a bandage, kind of like having lines, and I tried to do shading lines, but I used a pen. So yeah, I didn't want like to stab into the clay because it was still semi kind of hard. I mean soft. So yeah. So I like the design look of it. It's actually one of my favorite customs now, alongside my old custom Spider-Man and also my custom Punisher. And I think that's it. All my other customs are either in the bin or are DC customs. So yeah. But yeah, so I feel like I did pretty good with this custom. I like how it turned out. And the paint chipping, because this originally was red right here. This is on purpose because I wanted it to look like a camouflage type red. So I'm okay with this part of the body paint chipping. So yeah, but it was actually pretty surprisingly good. I had to put a little bit of layers of black on this because the silver parts of this figure originally doesn't take paint well with one coat. So I had to coat it a lot with the black on the the arm and lower leg, or the shin guard piece of the figure. So yeah, the back was done pretty nice. I purposely put one coat of paint right here so the silver would poke through. So yeah, so basically it's like kind of like if Spawn was given the Spawn symbiote suit as he has some sort of armor or body armor on. So yeah, but yeah, so I also did change up the back design a little bit, made it like a strap type of thing. Originally I was going to paint this completely red. I should have done that, but I was just trying to make it more unique. So yeah, also Spawn doesn't originally have a belt. He doesn't really have a belt in any of the comics we see him, but this figure came with a belt, and I didn't want to cut it off and risk it making it look all wonky on the torso area. So I just painted the belt red with silver straps and put the belt buckle chain thing Spawn has, and used some pipe cleaner, painted it silver and giving it that spiky type chain look. I used some red pipe cleaner to make it look like it kind of was covered in blood. So yeah, basically I like how it looks. Yeah, I like how it looks for the chain part of the outfit. And the cape, I was gonna make the cape a little bit bigger, but I didn't want it. I wanted to drape over Spawn, but I didn't want it to be too big and like make him fall over and tip over and be too heavy. So I used just one piece of fabric, so it would be pretty light and pretty easy to move around with just one piece of bendy wire on each side, so I can eliminate weight off of the figure. So but it's a pretty long cape, so it can flow and droop like that, and like flow in the wind and stuff like that. And also I think he can torse it over the side of his body and make it look like it's covering over him. I might do that in the stop motion, because I am gonna make a Batman vs. Spawn stop motion later this year, next to my my remake of my Wolverine versus Predators custom video I'm making soon. So yeah, so that's how I made it. It was basically the pit symbol was just a repaint with sculpted on type pouches and stuff, and I really like how it did because it's my own design. I also used the Executioner's hands and some of his extra hands. So I used some of the Executioner's hands. I used the Executioner's hands from the MCU movie on my custom Moon Knight figure this body's originally on, but I just kept the hands because I was going to switch it out. But I like the hands because it has those sculpted in type dots or screws on the hands like armor. So I like that design of it. Let me try to focus it. It's not focusing. Let me focus it real quick. I like that design of it, so I just painted the tips of them silver, so it looks like the spike knuckles he has in the comics. So yeah, also the head, I literally just dry brushed some white and pretty much made it like a Scarlet Spider-Man type design to make it look pretty cool. And I think it turned out really well. I like how the blue kind of matches throughout. The blue kind of pierces through it, makes it look pretty cool. I like the design of it. I like my design. of Spawn. The base design of it, like the paint job at least, is a design for the comics, but overall at the body type and how the armor looks, and you probably can see the cap, you know, star logo coming out. I tried to say that down as much as possible, but it wasn't budging, so I just painted over it. You can't really see it from afar, or if it's out of focus, unless you're like just staring at the figure's chest for like a long time. So yeah, so I like how this custom show came out. And before I switch on to, because I did switch on halfway through how I feel about it, I feel pretty good about it. But before we end the video off, let's go on to articulation and accessories, and then I can, well, let you guys go. So basically, the articulation from head to toe, or I'm just gonna start from, you know, arm to head, and then torso, leg, and stuff like that. So the arm joint is pretty nice. It's a normal articulation for Marvel Legends. Double joint elbows, raise swivel, up and not up very, okay, yeah, up, but a little bit of paint chipping there. It has some paint chipping on the figure, but majority of it doesn't really have that much paint chipping. So yeah, it goes full 360, but I don't want to risk like ripping the cape up or something. So yeah, it goes like that. And same thing with this arm. It was a little bit smoother than this arm because it has the sculpted in like pouch or strap thing. So the head goes up pretty far. The, you know, collar, or the collar kind of inhibits it a little bit. It could go farther, but it's good enough for a Spawn custom. It goes down really well, and yeah, it's a little bit of tilt there. And ab crunch is really good. Ab crunch is, yeah, not that good. Actually, not that good. It goes down that far, goes back that far. I did paint it into the joint so it looks fluent if it's like articulated, or in a pose or a dynamic pose if it's like crouched back. So yeah, waist swivel, normal waist swivel for articulation. And the Spawn, you know, things, you have to put them out of the way for the legs to go all the way up. Legs go up pretty nice, go back that far. He can pull off not really a split much at all. If you like really push him down there, maybe like a mediocre split. So yeah, some paint chipping coming off of this figure real quick. Yeah, you can really see it now. So double jointed knees. I like the silver showing through, makes it look more like the armor, but I actually might take the legs and sand them down and paint that black. So yeah, goes down that far, up that far. Nice ankle rocket, and goes all 360 around for the legs, and also a thigh cut. And I think that's all. So yeah, let's switch on to accessories. Now, some of the accessories are accessories from other figures that I modified for Spawn. Let me just pose this guy up real quick. So this is a old custom Excalibur I made for my first ever Hellboy custom, and it works pretty good. It matches in his hand pretty nicely, and I like the gold with the red and black accent. So yeah, I might modify this and make it look a little bit more like demonic or curved or something. It kind of is curved already, so just like that. It looks better that way. So yeah, I like the Excalibur, the custom Excalibur I made for him. So yeah. Now this is a gun from one of my Predator figures, and I am actually going to try to modify it for it to fit in his hand. So yeah, I am gonna buy one of those. I'm gonna buy one of those I think soldier army figures that you can find at Ross, just for the guns and accessories, because their guns actually match up with Marvel Legends half of the time. So I'm gonna buy one of those sets that get the guns and give them the Spawn and paint them silver. This is a wooden type of shuriken, or a bone shuriken, that was with one of my Alpha Predators, with my Alpha Predator figure, and I barely use this for my Alpha Predator figures, so Yeah, it's just spawns now. So yeah, and I can imagine Spawn throwing some sort of bone type weapon at somebody, and also just a predator type skull accessory, because we know Spawn kills people. Let's be real. Spawn is an anti-hero, but he still murks people on the street. Doesn't care who you are. So yeah. And I used some green pipe wire to make the ectoplasma effects. I was gonna cover them in hot glue, but let's just say a hot glue gun blew a fuse in my house because I plug up way too much stuff, like these two big lights that are right on both sides of my, footage or my camera setting. And also plus my TV, my switch, my computer, and also the lights to my shelf. I have two of them that are separate, and also light in my closet, plus a couple other things. So I have a lot of stuff plugged up or turned on in my room, or in my house. So yeah, all I have to do is just not use my hot glue gun. So yeah, I'm gonna switch back to my big hot glue gun I used for my earlier customs, and I have to be more precise with the hot glue because it's like a big hot glue gun. Like you have to hold it like an actual gun in your hand. It's like really big. But yeah, so it's just normal pipe cleaner but green, and it's just there to be bended to look like kind of like energy effects or something like that. And I use this as like a whip or some sort of energy rope or something. So yeah, I like how this custom turned out. I like how it looks and stuff, and I feel like it was a really good custom. It turned out good, and let's just do some size comparisons and then we can dip. So let's get this out of here. Get this out of his hand. Do size comparisons. So let's start out with my retro collection Spider-Man. So it matches with this figure pretty well. It's a pretty good height, and I think that Spawn is taller than Spider-Man. So yeah, so let's get that figure out of here. Him next to my custom Punisher. He's kind of angled in a way, but that's how I normally pose him. So they're about the same height, and yeah. So he's one of my earlier customs, my Punisher figure, and I don't think I ever made a video on him. But if you want to see a video on this custom, because it's kind of inspired by the Mezco Punisher, just go in the comments and tell me if you want to see a custom on this figure. So yeah. And next to some, other, store-bought Marvel Legends. Him next to another one of my favorite black superheroes. Him next to a Deadpool in the James Bond type of pose, and him next to one of my progress customs, my custom Iron Fist. I use the head from the Ravager Star-Lord because he doesn't really look like Chris Pratt, and I feel like it kind of matches, but I might like try to morph the head to make it, pretty much match with the pizza body type proportion this custom's based off of, or bodybuilders custom's based off of. I am gonna change up the skin tone, and also gonna clean up the paint and a bunch of other stuff. So because this was in my bin, I took it out a couple days ago, just popped the Star-Lord head on it, so I'm definitely gonna have to fix up the body. So it's gonna be a video on this guy in a couple months. So yeah, so that is my custom Spawn. My lights are about to flicker out because I have kind of a time limit. So yeah, that's my custom Spawn. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, because I can subscribe. As always, guys, have a blessed day.